What is up, y'all? Weebfox here, chiming in once again. I think this is the shortest time in between, like, me chiming in. I think it's been a month since last time. For me, it's a little less because due to some timing stuff, we're recording some episodes and some things in advance. But regardless, I think I talked about a upcoming rule change just a couple episodes ago. But this is now the thing that we're making with the somewhat recent. I mean, by the time this comes out, it's not going to be as recent, but Rage of the Abyss is going to be closer to coming out in the OCG, I think. And Rage of the Abyss is finally now making sharks an official archetype. And it's kind of funny, like the Rage of the Abyss, and we are just now in Abyss Rising. It just feels fitting that we're finally making this change where basically stuff that feels like an archetype is going to be an archetype. It's probably some stuff is going to be a little bit convoluted, but for the most part, it's like Shark Fortress is now a shark. Nimbles are an archetype. Basically, like if a name is shared by multiple cards, then we're going to consider that an archetype for the sake of our series, which mostly is just going to expand the card list that we are allowed to play in our episode. Like for example, we had that mishap with me thinking that From the Underworld was an archetype where it was in fact not. But now going forward, like stuff like this is gonna be more streamlined and easier. It's also gonna probably bring us some quirky stuff that we get to play. I mean, we've already seen now stuff like Goblin Marauding Squad giving Jeexx access to Upstart Goblin just recently, so stuff is gonna get wilder, but you know, we feel like these changes make this series just more interesting going forward, and obviously we also like get with the times a little bit. But for the time being, we're making the change where they basically just if the name makes sense for it to be an archetype, it's gonna be an archetype. We won't consider this like thing for subtypes, but that's something that we will definitely do somewhere along the line, because something like the biggest but the biggest one to suffer from this for our series has probably been zombies, which obviously has been a deck, kind of like dinosaurs has been a deck like for quite a while. And for our series, like those sorts of decks don't lend themselves well to anything except for the anniversary episodes, assuming we're keeping the same sort of format for those. But that's something to tackle later on the line, because I feel like if we just now made Hey Why Die Dragons or not just an archetype, it will blow everything open. I feel like this like minor expansion a bit by bit that we're doing fits like really well with the series and keeps it very interesting and keeps us on our toes when on the lookout for new stuff. But yeah, that's what we're doing now. So sharks are now an archetype, and by extension everything that kind of fits the same bill as sharks do. Like I mentioned, for example, Nimbles, like From the Underworld being a more like niche scenario, like those will be now considered archetypes for our series' sake. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Hopefully you enjoy the episode, and I'll see y'all after the intro. Yu-Gi-Oh! An incredibly complex card game with tens of thousands of cards. However, what if each set was separated from the rest of the massive card pool and your choices when building a deck were extremely limited? In this series, in order to learn Yu-Gi-Oh! From the ground up, I will be embarking on an adventure through the history of the card game with Jeexx. In each episode, we will have access to all the cards in a select product, and using only the cards in that product, both of us will build a deck before playing a best of 3 match to determine the winner of the episode. We will move in a chronological order in the series, and with each new episode we will forget the cards of the past in order to experience something brand new. We hope you enjoyed this adventure through Yu-Gi-Oh! And its evolution with us. Welcome to the historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning journey. Rising, and you already heard the rules change that we're implementing with this. The timing just aligns pretty nicely with Rage of the Abyss releasing in the OCG, making sharks an actual archetype. This being Abyss Rising, having sharks in it just makes sense. Also, like looking back on it, I think I mistakenly referenced Nimbles as one of the examples for it, but Nimbles are already an archetype, so that was a bad example there on my part. I would like to apologize for that. But yeah, Yeah, Abyss Rising this time, and the like currently I'm dating this a little bit. Currently, like the new expansion for Final Fantasy 14 just came out. Elden Ring DLC still the talk of everyone. That's sort of where we are at right now. But for us, right now, Abyss Rising is what we are going to be tackling. And once again, we are getting more Noble Knight stuff here with Ignoble Knight of Black Lancelin. And since I'm doing this time, like retroactively after the episode has been recorded, and I know like sort of the decks that we have built, I can talk about the cards that actually I should talk here, and then you're gonna hear about most of the stuff in the deck building sections. Gaga still getting something here. Bullblader is interesting, I guess, because it kind of guaranteed pop something, but I think at this point that starts to be a little bit dated. We also have a bunch of fish in here. Heroic Challengers appear here as well. Plant Pathfinder is there for you to search for field spells. Not really relevant though. Mermail's doing a lot of stuff about having to do with the grave, just having really consistent swarming and just a good capability of making extra dark plays. For the time, like an incredibly powerful archetype, and for quite a while I think they were pretty powerful. More prophecy cards here. We saw some already, I think, last time with the Spellbook support. Madolche is also here as well, as we've seen some more water type support here. Fishbark Planner there, so you can play Fishbark Blaster if you want. Yeah, it's funny that I mentioned this as an example and then already Angler in this set references Nimbles as an archetype. Yeah, so I'm just dumb. That's might be. Level 5 waters are sort of what sharks later become. So Maxi Dragon Legion, not a good card really, but it's there. Puny Penguin there if you want to play penguins. Gaga Cowboy, one of the more iconic XYZ monsters. Obviously Cowboy for game. Gundiva, actually pretty decent. Heroic Champion. Kusanagi is fine. Right. Needing 3 to make Kusanagi when you can make 2 with Gundiva, probably not something that you want to be making here. Then you have more stuff here for Spellbooks, Mermails, Medalche, they all get their big boss XYZ monster. Then we have Gagi the Rising, some funny lore implications there, and the most of the spell drop lineup is just a lot of like support for specific stuff. Obviously, like we have a lot of stuff for Mermails there. Lemuria obviously being another Umi card. A bunch of spellbooks. Probably the biggest addition here being Spellbook Fate, Forbidden Dress here as well. So access to forbidden cards. Obviously very good. The Humble Sentry, so if Jeexx really wants to stretch it, he can play the Forceful Sentry. But yeah, there's something that's the new naming convention, that rule that we have brings us, which will be pretty funny. Then we have just for the traps, kind of the same thing. Like you have a lot of like specific stuff countering specific things. Magic Deflector is pretty damn good. Like if it only affected like equips, fields, and continuous spells, it would be like specifically good. Whereas like okay, for something like maybe Insector, it's like good in that matchup. But the fact that it deflects literally all spells except for normal spells, which probably when you're using this, it's not the biggest deal. Obviously, this means that if you're using this on your opponent's turn, they can still be using normal spells, but this basically means that you're turning off all spell types, all spell cards, sorry, on your turn, which is pretty neat. That Wacky Alchemy is some payoff when your, opponent is using spells, because face up a spell in your opponent's spell trap zone being sent to a graveyard, it just, when it gets used, it just goes there, and then it goes to the grave, so you can use it that way, which is nice. Retort is interesting, but, it's really conditional. Abyss Dweller, one of the best Xyz monsters ever. It's just really flexible, obviously these days. More stuff for Noble Knights as well, some more Spellbook stuff. And then just a bunch of pack filler kind of garbage here. More Fishbark cards though, just nailing it that you can always have access to Fishbark. You can play one of the two basic perks, but Fishbark Blaster, obviously very good. The problem is just like how do you get synchros then, is if you want to play Fishbark, but you have ways like the Umi Retrain to boost your opponents, not your opponents, your monsters levels, so you can use Fishbark for Xyz plays as well. Bamoon Shark here as well. Kind of feels fitting ending on a shark. But yeah, that's the set. Hopefully you enjoyed. I don't know how this lasts because I am currently crippled with only one monitor, so I don't know really how long the recording is, but hopefully it wasn't too long, and I will see y'all in the deck building section next.
Okay, welcome. We're doing Abyss Rising today. Abyss Rising is a water-themed, or shark-themed, more specifically, set with a lot of really strong like water support that came along with it. Well, not really strong in comparison to stuff like Fishbark Blaster, obviously, but Fishbark Launcher is a pretty good card, and there's also a few archetypes in this, like Mermails, that are completely water-based, and that itself is already like kind of impressive. Because up till this point, I don't think we've had a single good water archetype, so Mermails are like the first actual instance of that. I would like to say, oh, hopefully we'll get one for fire monsters in the near future, but that's not gonna happen until like 2024. But anyhow, we have Fishbark Blaster through Fishbark Launcher. If anybody is having difficulty remembering why this card is fucking banned, if you control a face-up level 3 or lower water monster, you can discard one card and special summon this from your graveyard. If this card is used to synchro material, all other synchro material must be water. So this card basically recurs itself infinitely as long as you have a water monster on the field. And that's kind of fucking wild, isn't it? Like, sure, it has a stipulation like, oh, I can't summon myself if you only control a synchro, so you can't really synchro climb with it. But it's not that difficult. It's not that hard. There's also the part where it can be useful for other effects in this specific set. Fishbark Launcher can be used to synchro material, except for the synchro summon of a water synchro monster. If you have a monster in your graveyard other than Fishbark Launcher and all of them are water, you can special summon this card from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field, and you can only use this effect of Fishbark Launcher once per turn. So important note, Blaster is not hot once per turn, and it doesn't have a banishing effect on itself, which makes it really broken in comparison to Launcher. But Launcher can be kind of useful if you happen to get it under an XYZ material, because you can reuse it using that. But next we have the first Mermail card. If this card is discarded to the graveyard, you can target one Mermail monster in your graveyard, except Abyss Gundam. Special summon that target, and you can only use the effect of Mermail Abyss Gundam once per turn. So you can use Megalo to dump cards to the graveyard, use Spike, or use Sturge to dump cards in the graveyard and activate their effects. In this case, it's pretty good because it allows you to flip the field a little swarming. Then we have Abyss Hilde. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can spell summon one Mermail monster from your hand, except Mermail Abyss Hilde. So this basically just allows you to dump whatever Mermail you want on after it gets popped, either by tributing or something else. Then we have Abyss Hilde. If this card is on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Mermail monster from your deck. Again, you can go for any Mermail monster, including Megalo. Then we have Mermail Abyss Megalo. You can discard two other water monsters to the graveyard and special summon this card from your hand. When summoned this way, you can add one Abyss spell trap from your deck to your hand. You can tribute one other attack position water monster, and this card can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. This card is basically the bread and butter of the entire deck. Like, this thing is gonna win you the game. This thing is gonna swing for fairly high numbers. This thing's gonna swing twice. It's gonna be easy to swarm out. It's gonna trigger all the effects. That's about it. It's really strong. And you can also use it for many good rank 7 XYZs. Or many good level 8 synchros. But as you can see, we don't have access to those yet. So, Mermail Abyss Spike. When this card is normal summon or special summon, you can discard one water monster from to the graveyard. You can add one level 3 water monster from deck to your hand. Now, if this was level 3 or lower, I would say that this card is like insane. But as it is, it's really good because it still adds you like all the important pieces that can allow you to start your turn start your game plan proper. But if you could add stuff like Fishbark Blaster or Launcher, this would be insane. Sturge, when this card is normal spell summon, you can discard one water monster to the graveyard and target one level 3 yellow water monster in your graveyard and add that target to your hand. Hard once per turn, hard once per turn. As you can see, all of these monsters have a hard once per turn, except for Megalo. Moaling Glacier, the Elemental Lord, cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be summoned by having exactly 5 water monsters in your graveyard. If this card is spell summoned, discard 2 random cards from your opponent's hand. And all of them if they only have one. If this face-up card leaves the field, skip the battle phase of your next turn. Abyssal of the Kraken. Equip only to a Mermail monster, it gains 400 attack. When a monster effect that was activated on your opponent's side of the field is resolved, negate that effect, and then send this card to the graveyard. Forbidden Chalice. Target one monster on the field, negate its effects, gains 400 attack. Dress. Target one monster on the field, it loses 600 attack, but cannot be target or destroyed by other card effects. Lemuria. All water monsters gain 200 attack and defense once per turn during your main phase. You can have all water monsters you currently control gain levels equal to the number of water monsters you currently control until the end of this turn. So this card is kind of why I decided to build this deck, because originally I was struggling really to see how I would make this function without Synchros. But I just found, I'm like, well, if I have a Fishbark Launcher and a Fishbark Blaster in the graveyard, and I can get them both out, I can modulate their levels using Lemuria to be equal. And I can then use both of them to set up for any XYZ that I want. Then I have Forceful Sentry, which is one of the most disgusting cards in the game, but we have it in the set because of the Humble Sentry. Therefore, I put it in. Because my opponents are going to be playing Spellbooks. You know? It was totally fair. It is totally justified. Abyss Sphere, spells one Mermail monster from your deck and its effects are negated. You cannot activate any spell cards, and when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. Destroy this card during your opponent's next end phase after activation. Abyss Squall, target 3 Mermail monsters in your graveyard and special summon those targets in face-up defense position. Their effects are negated and they cannot declare an attack. Destroy them during the end phase. And then we have Abyssstrom. Send one face-up Umi you control to the graveyard and send all spell traps on the field to the graveyard. Bubble Bringer. Level 4 or higher monsters cannot attack directly. During your turn, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard and target 2 level 3 or lower water monsters with the same name in your graveyard and special summon those targets. Their effects are negated. So again, you could go for something and make a rank 4, make a rank 3, for example. That would be pretty good. Honestly, if this set had Zen mains in it, this could be really, really like menacing. Magic Deflector, because of all of the different spells in this, I felt like main deck and this is like the best way to go. For the rest of this turn, negate all equip, field, continuous, and quick play spell effects on the field. So for example, spellbooks have a thing called Spellbook of Fate. And Spellbook of Fate has the effect of banish X number of spellbooks up to 3. And then you can return one set card from the field, or change one card to face down defense position or face up attack position, or banish one card your opponent controls, non-targeting. So these 3 effects are really, really rough to deal with, and that's why I'm playing this. Ape Magician cannot be spell summoned once per turn. If this card is in face-up attack position, you can send one monster from your hand to the graveyard to target one face-up defense position monster your opponent controls. Take control of it until the end phase. It cannot change its battle position this turn. So basically, for the funny, I yoink your card, I make XYZ or something. Who knows? Or I yoink your card and I summon Abyss Megalo and I XYZ summon using your Priestess and my Abyss Megalo. Because I think Priestess is 7. I think. Yes. Unless I'm really bad at math. Yeah, it's 7. Wait, am I stupid? Prophecy, High Priestess of Prophecy. I'm just gonna double check it's 7. I can't trust my eyes right now. But yeah. Then we have Chalice, Dress, Lands, makes unaffected by spell traps. Apparently I found this out recently because for some reason it had never occurred to me that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Equips don't like just fall off of your monster when you target them with cannot be affected by other card effects. Because if it's equipped to the monster, it's just continuous and doesn't leave the field, and it just reapplies its effects continuously, but the effects don't apply But if, unlike in Magic, where enchantments just like pop themselves, if your monster becomes protected by that enchantment's color, it's really really important. An important distinction that I had never really thought of because I had never really played lands with that equip based deck. MST, Bubble Bringer, and then we have that wacky alchemy. You face up a card in your opponent's spell and trap card zone is into the graveyard. You can target one face up monster on the field and destroy that target. I felt like this card could be pretty good with MST specifically, and then there's also Abyssrum and whatnot. But at the moment, I'm not really sure. Also, it's face-up spell cards, which like this is probably really good against Fire Fists as it is. Like you just side this in against Fire Fists, and you 1-for-1 bear every time. Like your opponent summons bear, they send a Tenki or a Tensu to the graveyard, pop a monster, and then you activate this in response and pop their bear. And they suddenly don't get as much out of it as they would have before. You get rid of their big like control piece, and you also prevent them from going for XYZ plays immediately or synchro plays. Generally, I'd say that Wacky Alchemy is pretty good against that. Dweller! Well, this card has a material attached that was originally water. All water monsters currently control gain 500 attack. Once per turn, you can attach one XYZ material from this card. Your opponent cannot activate any card effects in their graveyard this turn. I am sure some people know what this card is and have seen it before. And holy fuck, this card is old. Like, this is one of... Like, this came out during Zixel, and during Zixel, this thing wasn't particularly strong. Like, this thing came out in Abyss Rising, and this is just like, okay, I see, yeah, whatever. Like, I have a bunch of effects in here that I activated in the graveyard, so Abyss Dweller is really good against this deck. But most decks don't. Most decks activate on the field at this like time. So this thing wasn't particularly powerful. It was a really good card, like still, like it's a good card. I'm not saying that's a bad card. I'm saying that it's not particularly powerful yet. But later, as the game moves onward and floating effects become more and more and more common, this thing shits on Burning Abyss. This thing shits on PK. Just like, fuck him up, man. And that's really good. Like this thing is gonna be really good. It is a shame that we probably won't be able to use it because it's not a number monster. It's not really a naming convention that is easily accessible at the moment. On the Bahamut Shark, once per turn, you can detach one material from this card. Spell summon one rank 3 or lower water monster from your extra deck. This card can attack for the rest of this turn. You should know what this card is. You should have seen this guy summon another card, another little annoying XYZ monster, and it's totally awesome. Totally Awesome is a really good card to summon with Bahamut Shark, and we're not gonna see that thing happen for like 3-4 more years. Cowboy for game. As you can probably see, there's some. I don't think Big Eye isn't in this set. No, Big Eye's I just put him in here, but like Cowboy, Dweller, Shark to a degree, Big Eye. There's a lot of good XYZs that are already out. Big Eye's not really that strong nowadays, and Cowboy for game isn't really a thing anymore. But for the most part, like some of these cards are really good. I have fond memories of these cards. Cowboy, you can detach one XYZ material from this card. Apply this effect depending on this card's current battle position. Attack position. If this card attacks an opponent's monster this turn, it gains 1000 attack. Also, the opponent's monster loses 500 attack during the damage step. Defense position. Inflict 800 damage to your opponent. Cowboy for game. Mermail, Abyss Gaios. 2 level 7 water monsters. While this card has XYZ material, level 5 or higher monsters cannot attack. Once per turn, during the player's turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls that have less attack than this card until the end of this turn. Then we have Big Eye. You can detach one material from this card, then target one monster your opponent controls, take control of that monster, and this card cannot attack the turn this is activated. Leviathan, gain 300 gain 500 for each material you detach. Shark Drake, once per turn, when this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster, you can detach one, special summon that card in place of attack position. It loses 1000. This card can attack again. Utopia, here for numbers, and kind of because it's a Lemuria target. you can attach a number to it as an equipment, and then you can attach one extra material and send the monster equipped by this effect to the graveyard and half your opponent's life points. So basically, it allows you to kind of speed up the game state. Although, lucky straight, you can roll attach one extra material and roll a 6-sided die twice, and this card's attack becomes the large number rolled times 7 until the end of your opponent's next end phase. Until your opponent's next end phase. Then if the total roll was exactly 7, apply one of these effects. Send all other cards on the field to the graveyard. Special spin one monster from your hand or graveyard. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards. It's here for the funny. That's it. Then we have number C32. So we had C39 for the longest time. Now we have C32 Shark Drake Vice. You can also extra this card by using number 32 Shark Drake. You control as extra material. If your life points are 1,000 or less, quick effect, you can banish one monster from your graveyard and attach one material from this card. Then target one face monster on the field, and its attack and defense become 0 until the end of your turn. So basically, this thing doesn't have the multi-attack thing, which is kind of a bummer. I would have kind of hoped that this thing would keep the multi-attack thing of Shark Drake by, like, say, you reduce the monster's attack, and if this card destroys a monster by battle, you get to attack again. Would be really cool. Utopia Ray, in here for filler, and Submersible Carrier Arrow Shark, in case I for some reason want to summon it using Bahamut Shark. But yeah, that about does it for Abyss Rising. This was a pretty long deck breakdown overall. I wasn't really expecting to go this far, but I feel like a lot of the cards in here are something that, while we probably won't be seeing a lot from now on because of the fact that they're fairly like self-contained into their own sets and their own era, these cards are something that we probably will be discussing in relation to the game moving forward towards the Lord of Tachyon Galaxy. So yeah, we'll see. Anyhow, good luck with the game.
And welcome back, guys and gals, and here's what we're going to be playing today. So yep, I think I've been talking about it earlier. So we're playing Spellbooks finally. I feel like we don't have Judgment here, but I feel like we have a lot of the good core pieces, and Judgment of is coming out in Lord of Tachyon Galaxy, which I really want to play Dragon Rulers. That's one of like the decks that I've like always wanted to experience. So really excited to be finally able to do that. So yeah, here's what we're doing today, and usually my decks end up being like really monster mashy, and like looking back, it's like I'm basically always thinking like, okay, I think I'm playing too many monsters, and it shows even here, like even here I have some cards that probably don't need to be here, but we'll see how it goes, and yeah, let's go through the deck. So starting us off, we have the best monster for Spellbook, just Magician of Prophecy. On normal or flipping, normal summon or flipping face up, you can just add a Spellbook spell from your deck to your hand. It's really tiny, but it gets you the cards that you need. It's really good. And then the big payoff, we have High Priestess of Prophecy, a level 7 with 2500 attack, where you can reveal 3 Spellbook spells in your hand to spell summon this card from your hand. And then once per turn, you can banish a Spellbook from your hand or grave, and then target a card on the field to pop it. It's just really good having a boss that's decently big and can also once per turn pop. It's relatively easy to get on the field. It just kind of takes all the boxes for a decently good boss monster. Then we have Justice of Prophecy, where during the end phase, if you have activated a Spellbook spell previously this turn, you can banish this card from the field, and then you can add a level 5 or higher light or dark spellcaster from your deck to your hand, as well as a Spellbook spell card. Specifically a spell, but still very good. Obviously, it can be used as a decent beater, but basically always we just want to summon this, activate a Spellbook somewhere in that turn, and then use this to get High Priest of Prophecy in our hand for our next turn, and also a Spellbook, which basically also gives us one of the 3 that we need to summon High Priestess. Then we are playing also 2 Temperance. We have a 3rd one in the side, just in case I feel like I really want to up the monster count a little bit. But Temperance, during their main phase, if you have activated a Spellbook spell card previous to this turn, you can attribute this to directly spell summon a level 5 or higher spellcaster from your deck. And then you can spell summon another level 5 or higher monster during the turn you activate this. So the interesting thing about High Priestess is, obviously, if you have 3 Spellbook, if your hand has 3 Spellbooks and the 3 of High Priestess, you can just reveal the same 3 every time and summon out all 3 High Priestess, which is pretty interesting. Temperance, obviously, spell summoning it right on the field is nice, but it doesn't add you a Spellbook, which is why I value Justice over Temperance. As for the spells though, which is obviously the meat of the deck, it's in the name Spellbook. We have a 3 Grand Spellbook Tower, which is their fill spell. But once per turn during your standby phase, if you have a spellcaster type monster on your side of the field or in your grave, you can place a Spellbook from your grave to the bottom of your deck to draw 1. And then when Grand Spellbook Tower gets popped, you can spell a spellcaster type monster from your hand or deck with a level less than or equal to the number of spellbooks in your grave, which unfortunately Spellbook Magician of Prophecy doesn't pop this since it's only a normal or flip and face up, because we will almost always most likely have 2 or more spellbooks in our grave if it isn't like the very earliest turns, which means that we would be able to get something like Spellbook out, which is nice. So the kind of payoff for something being destroyed is kind of whatever, so we don't really care about that. Also, I'm just now realizing I started recording this with Genshin off on the background, so if you're hearing some super silent music, I apologize. I forgot it does that. Probably should have thought about that before, but it's we're just gonna wing this. Then we have 3 Spellbook Library of the Crescent, which is an interesting spellbook card. It's a normal spell where if you have no spellbook spells in your grave, specifically spells, you can revel in this victory. You're gonna reveal 3 spellbook spell cards with different names from your deck, and then your opponent randomly makes 1 of them back to your hand, and the rest gets shuffled back. You can only activate 1 of these, and then you can't activate other spell cards during the turn you activate this, except for Spellbook Switch. We don't really care, because the other spells that we are running, we don't really care about popping on our own turn usually. So this is something that you want to open up with, kinda to fetch you something. It's obviously much more convoluted since it has a condition to fill and then it only has a random one, whereas the next one that we have, Spellbook Secrets, is very simple. Add a Spellbook card from your deck to your hand, except Spellbook of Secrets. It's just, you know, we're gonna add Magician of Prophecy as well, since it's a spellbook card, and Spellbook of Secrets doesn't specify it has to be a spell card. Secrets is just incredibly good. It just adds anything you ever want to your hand. Then we have Spellbook of Power, 2 in the main, 1 more in the side, where we can target a spellcaster monster we control to give it 1,000 attack for that turn, and then if it does, each time it destroys an opponent's monster by battle this turn, you can add a spell from your deck to your hand. And this also has a limitation of 1 heart once per turn. Then we have 2 Spellbook of Eternity, where you can target 1 of your banished spellbook spells, except Eternity, to add it to your hand. Also has the heart once per turn. Then we have 2 Spellbook of Fate, where if you control a spellcaster monster, you can banish up to 3 spellbook spells from your grave, and then you can activate the effect depending on how many you banish. So if you banish 1, you can return a set spell trap on the field to the hand for 2. You can either Book of Moon something, or turn something into face-up attack position, or with 3, which obviously is the best payoff, you can banish a card your opponent controls, and it's a quick time event. It's a quick play spell. Fate is really good. It's probably one of the better spellbooks, and obviously it's a payoff for getting stuff in your grave. Obviously, a Prophecy can do the same thing with only banishing 1, but it destroys a card instead of banishing it, which is why Fate is still very good, and also gives you a spellbook name there as well. We also have a single Spellbook of Life in the main, a second one in the side as well, which is an Equip, where you banish a spellcaster type monster from your grave and reveal 1 other Spellbook spell in your hand. And then you target a spellcaster in your grave to spell summon it in attack and equip it with this card. And then it gets levels equal to the banished monster. So, for example, if we banish a High Priestess and summon out a Magician, I don't know why we would do it that way. We're gonna do it the other way. Then the High Priestess would be level 9 because we banish a level 2 to activate Spellbook of Life. But it's just a very convoluted Monster Reborn. Then we have 2 Spellbook of Wisdom, where we can target a spellcaster monster on the field to either protect it from other spell effects or trap effects for the turn. This just, we can use this, and then we could go in with something like High Priestess without having to be afraid of any battle traps or other shenanigans. And finally, for our Spellbook cards in the main, we have a single Spellbook Star Hall, where each time a Spellbook spell is activated, you place a spell counter on this card, and then all spellcasters you control gain 100 for each spell counter on this card. And then when it's destroyed, you can add a spellcaster from your deck to your hand, whose level is less than or equal to the amount of spell counters. Sorry, a lot of spell C that were on this card. It's just very simple boosting. It's mostly here to have an additional spellbook name, just so we always have something to add to our hand. As for the last 10 cards in our deck, we are playing a single Forbidden Dress, 2 more in the side as well, where you can target a face-up monster on the field to make it lose 600 attack for the turn, but it cannot be targeted or destroyed by other card effects. This is the new Forbidden card in this set. Then we also have Forbidden Last from the past, 1 in the main, 1 in the side, where a monster on the field loses 800 attack, but is unaffected by the effects of other spell traps. We are only running 2 of this because we already have stuff like Spellbook of Wisdom to protect our other stuff. And this is mostly actually here because losing 800 attack is quite significant. And I don't see Jeexx having multiple things that could beat over High Priestess with this Forbidden Lance. And it's interesting for something like competing with a chain with multiple Forbidden cards. These might get out of hand. And then we have 3 Forbidden Challenge, which I think is the best one, because it just effect negation. We give one of Jeexx's stuff 400 attack for the turn and negate its effects. It's just really good, especially if we have something like High Priestess and we're negating something that has like a summon trigger that's maybe like 1600 or around those parts. Like, it's not going to be able to beat over High Priestess regardless, but it also stops his place. And then finally for our spells, we have 2 MSD, 1 more in the side as well. And then the last 3 cards in our main deck are that Wacky Alchemy, where if a face-up spell in your opponent's spell and trap card zone is sent to the grave, you can target a face-up monster on the field to destroy that target. This is literally just if Jeexx uses a spell, we get a pop on one of his face-up monsters, or if we pop something a lot with MSD, we also get to pop a monster. It's pretty neat for the set. For the rest of what we have in our side, we just have Puny Penguin giving us access to the Penguin line. I don't see myself playing it. This was mostly like here if I want to be like, okay, we're already playing pretty control-y. These are control effects. We can play these, and then we'll have more monsters if we want, and then a single Planet Pathfinder if I feel like the Grand Spellbook Tower is like super important for us. And this obviously gives us our normal summon, but we don't really have a lot of stuff that we care about normal summoning otherwise. But I don't know how relevant it's gonna be, but it's there. And we are most likely nothing in our extra deck is really going to matter. The only thing that I could really see happening is maybe Hierophant of Prophecy if we get 2 High Priestesses. So Hierophant of Prophecy, 2 level 7 spellcaster monsters. Once per turn, you can detach an Jeexx from this card to destroy spell traps up to a number of your spellbooks in your grave. It's neat, but obviously High Priestess being able to pop anything and Hierophant being able to only pop back row means that in most cases, if we have 2 High Priestesses, we would probably rather have those 2 High Priestesses than a Hierophant. But if the little bit of extra attack ends up being relevant, or if Jeexx goes 5 back row, then this might be something nice to go for. We also have Empress of Prophecy here. The only real way to summon this is banishing Spellbook for Justice or Temperance, or the other way around, one of these for Spellbook, so it'll then be 5, and we would need to do it with both of our Spellbook of Lives to get a level 5 that way. But what this does is it gains 300 attack for each Jeexx material attached to a monster you control, and then once per turn you can detach an Jeexx from this to shuffle your deck, excavate the top 5, and then destroy monsters on the field up to a number of Spellbooks excavated. And then you get to also order your deck. So actually a really powerful effect, like extremely powerful effect. Like you can easily get like 2-3 pops from this. But obviously getting it on the field is really awkward. So I don't know how likely this is to come up. But if it comes up, like it's a real blowout of a card. Then we have stuff here that I literally cannot summon, because stuff like Abyss Dweller and Bahamut Shark, like we can only summon with something like a Nightmare Penguin. It's only here because Abyss Dweller, obviously very iconic, very powerful Xyz monster, so I kind of wanted to highlight it here. Bahamut Shark, I don't know anything that is ever done except shit out totally awesome, so obviously we don't have total yet. Thank the heavens for that. And then like Gaga Cowboy for game, obviously. Something with Nightmare Penguin is, you know, is a possibility here. We can summon Air Shark with something like Justice or Temperance, but we would rather get rid of them with their own effects from the field. But, you know, it exists here. But hey, we can summon it with Bahamut Shark if we, for whatever reason, want to make Bahamut Shark. We're not going to do that. And then we just have Dyson Sphere here, because, you know, I don't even know what it does. I wanted to round out my extra deck just to have 15 cards in there. I literally couldn't even tell you what Dyson Sphere does if you ask me. So, but it exists, and we are not going to summon it. But, you know, it was a level 9, so if we have 2 Spellbook of Lives getting back 2 High Priestess of Prophecy by banishing 2 Spellbook Magicians of Prophecy, then we can summon Dyson Sphere. Actually, yeah. To end this off, let's read together what Dyson Sphere does. So, during your main phase 1, if your opponent controls a monster with a higher attack than this card, you can detach one from this card to make it able to attack directly this turn. And once per battle step, if this card with a material is attacked, as a quick effect, you can negate the attack. And while this card is targeted for an attack, while it has no material, you can target to attach it. Okay, yeah, it's... we're not going to be summoning Dyson Sphere, that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the deck breakdowns, y'all. I hope they weren't too long, and hopefully y'all been enjoying the Elden Ring DLC, or the Final Fantasy expansion, or just Yu-Gi-Oh content, if neither of those strikes your fancy. I will catch y'all next in the dueling zone. What is up, ladies and lads, and welcome back to Historic Yu-Gi-Oh! Learning Journey, this time with Abyss Rising. Pretty funny that we have Abyss Rising now, with OCG having Rage of the Abyss in X amount of time. But the timeline is weird because we're recording some episodes in advance, so it's weird. But we have new archetypes now in the series. Jeexx, how does that make you feel? Sharks,
When
among
you
other
gaze
things.
into the abyss, sometimes the abyss gazes back, guys. Watch out.
Sure does. I'm gonna be.
So anyway, what are you playing in this set?
I'm gonna be Abyss walking with
Oh,
my magical powers.
I'm gonna be rising up against the tide.
Now we're just going at it, huh? It took me a
That
little bit.
was actually kind of good. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll give you a virtual handshake with that one. A nice clean
didn't
40
even fucking
cards
think of
for
that.
both of us as well. You love to see it. What you don't love to see, though, is this hand. I'm not gonna lie. It's looking like a set 4 pass. Now what you want to see for this deck. No. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my turn.
Okay, I go standby main. I will discard 2 water monsters from my hand, and I would like to special summon Abyss Megalo. Is this okay?
Yep. That seems pretty good.
Summon Abyss Megalo in attack position, and then I would like to activate the effect of the thing. Oh, I discarded the wrong thing. No, may I retract my Fishborg Blaster and do this instead?
It hasn't affected anything yet, so
I would like to activate the effect of Abyss Gunde to special summon a Mermail monster from my graveyard, which will be Abyss Pike. And then I would like to activate the effect of Abyss Pike. When it is normal or special summon, I will discard a water monster from my hand to the graveyard and add a level 3 or lower water monster from my deck to my hand. Or sorry, a level 3 water monster from my deck to my hand.
Yep.
And I will be adding to my hand a card that is not. Well, I can also add him. That's kind of surprising, actually. Did not expect that. I will, in fact, add. Monsters in graveyard and Fishbrook Blaster, and all of them are water. You can spell some discard from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. I could simply add to my hand. This goes in the graveyard. That should just be fine too. But that requires a card in my hand. If this card is discarded.
Oh, by the way, you didn't want to add a spell trap with Megalo?
Oh, true. My bad.
Since that's a
That's
one
an effect that.
so you had to do that earlier. So that's why I was wondering, like, you probably want to do it now before you do other things, since it's a win.
Yeah. It activates like you do. Wait, no, I can't do both because they
it's when and when.
activate. I don't think I care enough about the spell trap versus the monster here. Not
Fair.
gonna lie.
Yeah, I guess.
Like in all honesty.
Yeah, because this is when and that is if. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually kind of a pain in the ass because I don't have that many cards that I can add that are worthwhile to be adding right now, especially since I only have Abyss Gunda in the graveyard and I can't summon Abyss Gunda from the graveyard if I add another one.
Mm-hmm.
There's no. I thought I had a card that said if I summon it, I can add one from the graveyard to my hand, but I guess not. It's not level 3. I mean, I guess we'll just we'll just see how this goes. I will add to my hand a Fishbook. No, not Fishbook Blaster. Fishbook Launcher. Bruh. Ah, fuck. That was this thing.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that's a level 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck. Man, I cannot pilot this deck for shit. I apologize.
Don't worry, I have.
Then
I've put 0 minutes into testing things with this deck, so things are probably gonna go really poorly.
same. I was in a situation where I was thinking maybe I'll actually like do some more testing with this deck because I was thinking like it could be kind of cool to figure out how to play this more efficiently, but I changed my mind purely because of the fact that it felt stupid.
We're hitting the points where I would actually need to start properly doing testing with this deck, but I'm just kind of still raw dogging it and just see what happens. And it's starting to bite me in the ass.
Slowly, but steadily. I'm gonna activate Lemuria, the Forgotten City. I'm gonna there we go. And I would like to. This is kind of a pain in the ass because I can't modulate my levels efficiently here. I would like to send to the graveyard from my hand a Abyss Sphere to special summon a Fishboard Blaster. And then I would like to normal summon. It increases all of them, right? Yeah, you can have all water monsters you currently control gain levels equal number of water monsters you currently control until end of this turn.
They're all
it's
gonna
so
gain
clunky.
4 if you summon another one. Currently the 3. Yeah. It's weird.
It's really rough getting this to actually line up because if I could just make it so Fishbook Blaster gains 3 levels here, that would be kind of great actually. I could just overlay that and then I could do it again for something else if I have one in hand or something. But unfortunately, I will simply have to normal summon Abyss Linde and go into combat, attack using Fishboard for 300.
I think that's so much damage, so I think I am doing this here. So I'll
would have been smart too.
I'll pop your field spell with MSC.
Yep.
And then since a face up spell card was sent, I will pop Megalo. Actually, wait, it's spell trap zones specifically. Okay,
it doesn't count, bro.
Am I still popping it? I still think I'm popping it because that's way too much damage otherwise. So yeah, then we can proceed as normal. So I'm taking 100.
1.5, 1.6, and 2.4. I completely forgot the Megalos isn't on attack because I was thinking I'm going to tribute Fishborg and then attack again, but it's purely on yeah. Then honestly, I'm thinking I should just sack Fishboard, but nah, it doesn't matter. It's your turn.
I think this is actually the first time in history when spellbooks have bricked, but I literally have no place I can make here.
Bro. That's fucked.
This might be another really swift one, but I mean, the odds of me sacking that hard twice in a row are pretty unlikely, but at this point, unfortunately, I could see them happening, but that's all I'm there, so I'm immediately good to go.
Okay, I'm good to go.
Hopefully we don't get another speed run here, though. Please give me something. All right, we can work with this. It's not optimal, but it is something that we can work with. I think this makes the most sense since I do have this here. So, did I start for it? I think I do. Okay, so I'll start with revealing to you the Grand Spellbook Tower.
Yes.
Spellbook of Secrets. And Spellbook of Power. In order to special summon High Priestess of Prophecy.
Yeah.
Then we will... I guess it doesn't really matter here yet. Yeah, it doesn't matter here yet, because this is only my standby phase. And yeah, this doesn't matter. We'll start off with the secrets.
Yep.
And I will grab... I'm kind of torn. Do I want... This is like super greedy. And then I have this, which is consistent. This doesn't matter here. And I guess this works as well. I think I'm doing the consistent play though. We'll get Spellbook of Wisdom to hand. So I think that makes the most sense.
Yep.
This thing goes to the grave. We'll activate Spellbook Tower here. And then we will set and we will set. And then I will pass it back to you.
You go stand by me. I activate the Forceful Sentry.
Sure, man. It is a Spellbook of Power that I will send back to my deck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Playing Forceful Sentry, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that was not supposed to go to the graveyard.
Interesting.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna set, and I'm gonna set, then I'm gonna set and pass.
I'm gonna... I guess it doesn't matter. I will start my turn, draw a standby, and then during my standby phase, Spellbook Tower, I do have a Spellcaster, so I'll... This is at the bottom, right? Yeah, so we'll put Secrets to the bottom. Actually, do I even want this? I think I do. I'm not in a hurry. We'll put this to the bottom, and then we'll draw one. I guess it doesn't really matter. Then we are going to our main one. And then I will... I think just go to battle and see what this is.
Yeah.
Say Fishbook, sure. Main 2, I will... Will I? I think I will. I'll set another back row and then I will pass. I swear I hear Force will censure me again.
You don't think that's gonna happen?
Three first turns in a game, 3 forceful sentries would be certainly an experience. Huh, interesting. No, but Spellbook Tower doesn't do anything here, so that doesn't matter. Well, let us activate Library of the Crescent, since I have no spellbook spells in my grave. And then we will reveal to you... I wonder, I mean, we'll do... I'll just... Actually, can I? It doesn't matter. I'll just put them to hand, and then I'll order my... Shuffle my hand until these happen to be the 3 to my right, and then we'll pick it randomly there. I'll pick Secrets. I'll pick Fate. And I think for the last one, I will pick... we'll get Eternity. Then let me shuffle my hand until those 3 are the 3 next to each other. Okay, now you can just, I guess, they're the 3 leftmost cards in my hand, so you can just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the dice, and we can pick it like that.
All right.
All right, so that means that I get realize one of them and rest back into the deck. Yep, so I get this thing. Wait, does it... Did I not randomly add one of them back to your hand? It doesn't...
And shuffle the rest back into your deck?
Yeah, it's... I'm just wondering, like... I don't need to reveal it to you? That feels kind of weird. But
I mean, you reveal 3 cards with different names from your deck, and then you could... That's...
Yeah, because it feels like you know that it's going to be one of the 3, but you don't get to know which one it is, which is kind of strange.
That's the point. It's the same point with boars in Noble Knights.
Yeah, these go here. We'll shuffle this. I'll shuffle my hand as well. And then this goes to the grave. And then I guess, well, surprise, surprise. You'll never guess what the last one was. It was Secrets.
No way.
We'll go Secrets and we'll grab... I guess I will get... This doesn't really matter. I'll get a Fate. And then... I guess we just... Do I want to blindly shoot something? I don't think I do. But at the same time, if I blindly shoot something and then I do that, then I'll have this back online. It doesn't matter. We'll just go battle phase and swing for a 25.
Yep.
Main 2. And... And I will just...
Oh, wait, no.
Pass.
Ah, fuck. I could have got the Megalo spell, because I think the timing is still fine in that.
Actually. Oh, in the first game?
Yeah, I could have got that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, because that was the thing was when it was summoned, you do that, and then the rest of the shit happens. It was basically like me inquiring, like, would you like to do that? And it's just
no, like
I don't care.
Because you summon Megalo, you get to activate the 2 effects at the same time. So you activate the if effect and the one effect at the same time. And then when the one effect resolves, you do the if effect, and the if effect summons the card, and then you get to do the one effect of the if summoned card.
Yep.
Yeah. I was for some reason thinking it doesn't work because the card you would have to summon would have to be after.
We'll do the same thing here. I'll put Secrets to the bottom, and I will draw one. Yeah. I mean, we'll just go straight to combat, another 25.
I will activate Abyss Sphere to spell summon a Mermail monster from my deck. Its effects are negated. Is this acceptable?
Yep.
Okay. I will special summon a Abyss Linde.
Sure. I guess we'll redeclare into Lind and give Lind the negation and the attack boost and then just beat over it. I don't think I want you getting stuff from your deck.
But that doesn't work, does it? Because when it leaves the field, its effects are no longer negated, right?
Is that?
Because its effects are already negated from
is...
Abyss Sphere. Its effects are negated from Abyss Sphere already.
Yeah, okay, so yeah,
it
doesn't matter. Sure.
Yeah. Then I would like to special summon a monster from my deck. And that would be...
This is a really bad matchup, I'm realizing, huh?
Yeah.
The negation stuff here doesn't really work, and you just...
Not great.
Everything
I would summon...
Unfortunate.
Abyss Pike. And when Abyss Pike is special summoned, I would like to activate its effect. Would you like to respond?
Honestly, since you already know what this is, I'll just do this so you don't get the extra summon of that. So we'll at least do something with the chalice.
I think I'll activate Forbidden Lands on Abyss Pike. If that's okay.
I'm thinking...
I'll keep it on the field.
I think that's too much of a commitment at that point. Yeah, I think... Yeah, this is fine.
No, I'm cheating.
Are you?
Abyss Sphere prevents me from activating spells.
You cannot activate any spell cards for this. Oh.
Yes.
Unfortunate. Okay, well, then
oh, fuck.
Well, okay. That works.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That sucks. I didn't want to use that. I wanted to use Lance because Lance is a single target.
Deflector is obviously way better, so...
Yeah. I would like to discard Gunde, and then I would like to... I'll resolve Spike's effect and then activate Gunde afterwards. Can you please work, website? I'm begging you. There we go.
They're stalling us.
I would like to add to my hand a Abyss Hilde. And then activate the effect of Abyss Gunde to spell summon Abyss Linde.
Yep. Then we'll go main 2 and we'll set this card and we will pass.
Now, this card destroys itself the next end phase after this activation, which implies that it should be this end phase.
Destroy this card during your opponent's next end phase. Oh, yeah.
Because it's not during the next turn's end phase after this card's activation.
Yeah, it's your opponent's next, which is since it's my turn and this is my next end phase. Yeah.
True. I would imagine that's what that means.
Yeah, I mean, it would be weird if it doesn't. That doesn't work.
Yeah. I would like to...
It would also be very bad if all you're getting with Call of the Haunted being a thing with this is just, hey, by the way, you also can't use spell cards during your next turn.
Yeah. That would be fucking criminal, man.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah, this leaves the field, so that also...
I can now activate spells.
Yeah. Yes. What did you summon with this? Because didn't this summon...
I summoned Linde, but Linde died, and then I got another... Yeah. That's why it doesn't get destroyed. If it got destroyed, that would be fucking ace, because I would get another summon from the... No, I would not. Because Heart was for turn. It's actually balanced! Yeah.
Mermail cards being balanced?
Yeah.
It's more likely than you think.
Very unlikely.
Because you don't think that it's likely, and that's why it's more likely. They're not balanced. They're really good. We're actually playing good archetypes now, although I'm still missing some good cards, but... I like you looking into your extra deck. That would be an 8.
This kind of sucks, not gonna lie. I would like to normal summon Mermail Abyss Hilde.
If this you can spell summon Mermail from hand. Sure, that's fine.
That's fine. I would like to activate Lemuria, the Forgotten City.
That'll be 3. So you can make rank 6s or some weird synchro place. Sure.
Sure. Then I would like to go into attack with these two and start swinging.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would like to swing with Abysslinde into High Priestess of Prophecy.
Yeah, so currently you're taking 800.
Yes, I'm taking 800.
Yep.
Is this acceptable?
This is fine. The shitty thing
800?
here is that Abyss Megalo without the boost is 2400, which means that it's gonna be 100 more.
To summon an Abyss Megalo, and then I would like to attack using Abyss Megalo.
Who is now 2600, correct?
Correct.
I mean, I know what that is. I still think I'm doing it. All right, I'm using Chalice to boost my own prophecy by
Boosting
400
your
points.
own prophecy.
So now,
I like to
I was like,
activate.
at least you now need to use the lands to get rid of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's 400 and then 400 more, which ends up enemy taking 500 from this.
There we go. And then I would like to continue attacking with these two.
Wrong order. This is where I've dropped the gores.
Cannot drop the Gores, and it is actually the wrong order, though. If you have Tragodia in your hand, you'll still be at 1.6k, so I should have attacked with Abyss Hilde first. But you could also just drop the Tragodia on the Abyss Megalo, if I remember correctly. Because it's whenever you take battle damage.
Yeah.
Important. Well, I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting that to happen. I was expecting to lose my shit there, so I'm a little worried.
Well, since you know how Fate functions, is you can banish up to 3 things from your grave, and there is only 1, so that's, you know.
Yeah. That is quite sad.
Fate doesn't really do much here yet, so.
Yeah. Let me think for a second, because I make that into a 7, but that'll also be a 7 too, and that is kind of unfortunate. And getting this out doesn't really do anything. Getting this out doesn't do anything. These don't really help me at all. But I wonder, is there actually a world where I could do something? Probably not, because I don't have easy ways. Oh.
There is no way.
There's no way. Okay. Then I will just pass if there's no way.
All right, yeah. Okay. I think that makes sense. Draw. Standby. I would like to use Grand Spellbook Tower. There is only one spellbook that I can do this on, so we will use this on a library. Since I have a spellcaster in my grave, then we will draw 1. Thank God. All right. The last back row scares me. But we will do this. I will reveal in my hand Spellbook of Fate, Spellbook of Eternity, and Spellbook of Power. In order to special summon out High Priestess of Prophecy.
Yeah.
Is this okay?
That is okay.
Then.
You activate Power.
Exactly. To give 1,000 boost to Prophecy. And this turn, every time it destroys a monster by battle, I will get to add a spellbook from my deck to my hand, specifically a spell, but, you know.
Then I think you can just banish Power for Prophecy to destroy the last set and use the thing that you have in hand to get it back to your hand.
Yeah, I can indeed do that. Because this gets, assuming this is resolving, which since you're talking that, I'm assuming that this is resolving. Yep,
And
and
then
then I will do exactly as you expected me to. I will banish this, and I will pop. Yep. Damn,
I should have just let my Megalo down.
you're. It's
I
almost
should have just let
as
my
if
Megalo
you
down.
know what I want to be doing here, huh?
Yeah,
We'll
I've
do
never played this deck before. What do you mean?
eternity to get this back to hand.
Yes.
Let's have this now 3,500. I don't think there's any way, but because what would that be? Yeah, there's like literally no way. Actually, no, there's not. Yeah, I guess this gives you a hand summon. This doesn't matter. If you draw the Megalo, it's annoying, and these still get to make some place. You still have Fishborg, but Fishborg needs a discard. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking too hard on this. We will just go combat here, and we will punch over Megalo for 900. Yeah, 900.
Yes.
And then we will add.
And you can add secrets to your hand.
I can't add anything, but I will add secrets.
It's the only right play here.
And then
use this to add another fate, another power. You have a power in your hand, so you don't need 2 fates is pretty good. If you have master, that could also be good.
I can give you some insight, which is Master is not out yet.
Oh, it's not?
It comes out in Cosmo Blazer. Master is the other really big thing that you're still missing on top of Judgment.
Yeah.
But I do think that I will... Actually, it doesn't really matter, but it smoothens out my draw, so I will use the secrets to add a fate into my head. To actually, yeah, I do want fate.
And then you set a fate. Or actually, if you don't have, I mean, you probably have a wisdom, but
I will set a card. I will set a card, and then I think we are. Yeah, this is my main too, obviously. I think we are done with that, and the power boost is for the turn, so I'll just remove that token. Still a little bit worried because you do have the Fishborg, you do have the field spell, so there's still definitely a lot you can do here, but Megala, there's Linde, there's Gunde.
I would like to summon. Fishborg Blaster.
Yep, so currently this gives you an 8 if you want to make some synchro plays, or a 5 or a 4, but...
To activate the effect of Lemuria, the Forgotten City.
Everything gets boosted by 3, I think.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, this is fine.
And then...
Oh?
Because I'm so fucking desperate, I would like to tribute summon.
Wow.
Using
my days.
to go into Abyss Megalo. Would you like to respond?
That's pretty funny. You get the Abyss spell trap, which sucks.
No, I don't.
Oh wait, because it's only summoned that way. That's funny. Am I? Wait. Sad. Contribute. I'm still alive, but if I'm losing my thing, I think it's too bad if I'm losing my thing. I think since you have Abyss Spike is now a 7, correct?
Yes.
And Megala is a 7, so I think
Yes. Just to remind everybody, number 11,
yep,
Big Eye.
exactly. It is
Or
in
Mermail
the
Abyss
format,
Gaiax.
which is
And also
why
we have Lucky Straight.
I think I need to do this here, because normally I would be like, okay, I can still wait, but
You can also wait until I get Big Eye out on the field, and then you can just kill Big Eye and you get rid of 2 monsters at the same time. Because we're not playing under priority, so I can't yoink the Fate on before you can respond.
I'm thinking, is there? Because if there's
Because
something
if
I'm
we're playing,
overlooking, but I think it's only Lucky Straight and Big Eye that are the relevant ones. I think I'm letting this happen, which means that the logical play for you is to go battle phase first. Or you greed, thinking that I don't have anything when you know that I added Fate to my hand and I have 2 spellbooks in my grave. Which,
I mean, the thing is, I don't really have that many good options. And that's kind of the sad thing here. So
yeah, that's the problem. Because you need something to get rid of Prophecy, because otherwise it obviously just pops whatever you get out, and then you're out of cards.
I mean, I'm just gonna overlay and make this thing.
How was Gaius? Oh, sure. And then it gets summoned. I am using Fate to flip it.
Yep.
Which...
I think that's actually gonna be it, because I don't think I have a good way out.
Finish up to 3 spellbooks, supply depending. So yeah, I'm doing obviously 2. And flipping it face down defense.
Yeah, I think that's just go next time.
Right, we at least did something. Bro, these honestly, given the time restraint that I kind of have, I'm kind of happy that the first game was as swift as was, but I think the only change that I wanted to ever make, I already made, so I'm good to go. Do you want to make some siding? I can pause the recording if you do.
No, I think I'm fine.
All right.
I'm starting to think that my extra deck is not obtuse enough.
Yeah,
which
that's probably the biggest problem, where it's like I'm missing some of the power, a couple of the power spells, and you're missing actual payoffs in the extra deck. Like Megala is still it's not great.
Like, if I had access to any synchros, this would be huge, but unfortunately,
yeah,
I do not.
I get that. This is kind of silly, but honestly, we could do some other things. We'll normal summon Justice of Prophecy. And then we will...
I've never seen this card in my fucking life.
It's not great, but you know, we need some monsters here. By the way, I still haven't drawn the one that just adds spellbooks.
Yeah, the good one.
Yeah, the actual one good of 2 on top of a High Priestess. Those being the 2 actually good monsters. Then we'll activate Spellbook of Power.
Fuck, that sucks. That's fine. It's whatever.
Fuck, that sucks. That's fine. How I'm doing? Fun. It's like we're so back. It's so Joe.
Man, it's so Joe. It's Joarida.
Then we will proceed to the battle phase. Punch over whatever this thing is.
Or like to special summon.
Yep, you get your special summon. Biz Megala, And
Which unfortunately doesn't get me an abyss spell because it's not summoned the way that it's supposed to be summoned.
Because it specifically wants to be summoned a certain way. And then I guess
I'm thinking I should have just like not summoned anything and I should have just passed and hope I get a better card for next turn.
honestly that would be pretty beast. Honestly, I wonder. I think I'm just getting another power question mark. Honestly, I'm grabbing another power. This didn't limit it, right? Yeah, I'm getting. Actually, wait. I'm crazy. I'm getting secrets. Wait.
Mm-hmm. Why would you not get secrets?
Because I'm a gamer.
Okay. Reasonable.
And then. Me too. Honestly, we'll just proceed to end phase. Banish this thing. And then we'll get a prophecy to hand, as well as
Spellbook card.
Actually, wait, are you, because I completely forgot to activate my secrets. Are you fine with me doing my secrets where I'll just use secrets to grab power, and then with this I'll grab secrets? Since
Go for it.
Thanks, man. So I'm using this to get power, and then I'm using the banish to get secrets.
Yeah.
And then
you would like to discard?
Yep. I will actually wait. Why did I just set this? I just said this.
Wow, you're setting the fate? No. That's illegal.
I assure you it was something I had earlier. I would never lie to you. Yeah, I got nothing for this.
Yeah, then I go.
I was too eager though. End phase. 2 back row is terrifying. I will not lie.
3 back row, baby.
Okay. I guess normal summon. Finally, Magician of Prophecy.
What the fuck?
Finally found it. We got one, baby. I guess sure. Then let's get. I think I just want more in circulation. Let's get Eternity.
I'm gonna say that I have 7 forbidden cards in my deck, and I've only seen one of them.
I only have 5, but given with my side deck, I do have 9. You'll never guess what they are since there are 3 of them. Anyways,
Forbidden Droplet and
Eternity. Power. Secrets. To special summon. Prophecy. Or High Priest of Prophecy. Is that okay? I would like to reveal Eternity. Power.
No, go next. It's not. That's not worth waiting for.
Yeah, and
like there is a world where I can out that, but
do you have back row to not die this turn?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because it's I have 2. One of them gets power. I pop with one of them Megalo. That's 9,000 damage, and I also have.
Assuming you don't pop the right card, I have a way of basically preventing you from attacking directly. So
I would have popped your leftmost set and bounced the rightmost to your hand.
Okay, then you would have fucked up the thing. Because I had a card that just says level 4 higher monsters cannot attack directly. And that would be the only thing that have protection. And so I had 2 Forbidden Lances.
That was the middle one?
That was the rightmost one for mine, so it was the leftmost for you.
I thought you meant with fucked up that I would have flunked it, but okay.
No.
Yeah, because...
But yeah, I didn't see a single chalice, I didn't see a single dress.
Yeah, it's...
Kind of sucks.
It kind of sucked that we had out of the 3 games, like 2 were basically just breakfast. Like, first game I opened 0 spellbooks, And now here, like, you're just not seeing any of the negates, which are what completely, like, kind of. I think the forbidden cards is what, like, kind of makes this archetype suffer in this specific episode, and especially like because I can negate a lot of your important stuff because a lot of it activates in the graveyard. But if you never draw into those things, none of those things matter.
Yeah. There's
Which
also just the unfortunate reality that I I straight up should have not played Fishbooks. I should just played every single Mermail card that I have access to. I
mm-hmm.
want to keep the Fishbooks in case I got some funny XYZ plays, but the more that I played this, because I did not play test this version of the deck. I just said, fuck, I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah,
And the reality of Lemuria not actually enabling any XYZ plays outside of the one possibility, should probably not even played that, honestly. But it was the only way I could guarantee that I can swing over the High Priestess with like more consistency. Because for example, Abyss Scale of the Kraken is kind of a problem because when a monster effect that was acted on your opponent's of the field resolves, negate the effect and then send this card to the graveyard, you can just turn this off on your own. You can just turn off the equip on your own, and that makes it so that I don't have to just eat shit, basically. So
yeah,
with Megalo, I didn't have an immediate access to, like, I can just guaranteed survive shit.
yeah,
And also, this Kraken doesn't destroy, it doesn't really do anything against Priestess. Because if Kraken goes to the graveyard, I'm left with a 2.4k Megalo, then you can just run it over. That's bad. That sucks.
yeah. It's unfortunate. I remember we had one of the. I think it was like the spellcaster and warrior structure deck thing that was, and we'll try to wrap up the discussion. So, because I need to do something. But it
Mhm.
had another like the reverse case where it was like 100 point difference. Maybe it wasn't that because that was Gear Freed. Yeah, it wasn't that, but it was some other way. It's literally like the big like payoff bosses in both decks were like 100 points apart, and ended up actually mattering quite a bit because like having to go an extra mile to actually be able to beat over the opposing boss is actually pretty annoying
Really
still
rough.
for this time because you just
Yeah.
can't just get pops like this, which is why also this deck is so good because you have so much consistency. Everything adds everything to your hand. It keeps recycling, and then you also have your boss monster is a big body, which also has a pop attached to it, which is really good.
Yeah. I honestly think this could have been a lot better of an episode. If I feel like if we both I practiced our decks a little more and I fine-tuned my deck a little more,
Yeah,
this could be a really good match.
that's probably gonna be a recurring episode. Well, I'll try to actually start finding time to at least put a few games in, so I can then because for such a long time, like it was basically like you can just read the cards and it's like okay, this is like it's it's easy enough. But like at the very latest, when we hit pendulum stuff, like me just really going through the set 2 times, being like okay, these sound cool, these maybe work together, and putting that together, like it's gonna stop working, or at least like I'll start have to start like looking maybe into some like legacy archives if I can like if I'm thinking of playing a deck, if I can find like a uh the template for that deck. Obviously it's going to be more the open format, so it's going to have a lot more things there, but at least with that I can like make a shell that makes sense and then go from there to like do something to because basically now I'm just like I'm reading through the set a couple of times being like this uh this might work, and just rocking with it and seeing what happens. But
I
yeah,
mean, as long as we keep having strong archetypes, I think that's gonna still work.
it's still
Yeah.
fine, but it's would be better if I can also put more thought into it, which I'll try to do in the near future. But yeah, I really need to fly now, so we'll return with me wearing the same T-shirt in a little bit after I'm done taking care of what I need to take care of, and
Sneaky.
then we'll shut up, and then we'll be back with Cosmo a Blazer, which obviously y'all have to wait for a week, but for us it's gonna be like an hour at the most. Actually, not even an hour. It's gonna be like half an hour. So thank you for watching this episode regardless, and we'll catch you next time for Cosmo Blazer as well as the start of Astral Pack. So have a good one, y'all, and peace.